that the planned protest on Wednesday will not take place. Instead, a vigil will be held in various locations across the country for victims of public brutality. Through his Twitter account, Azimio leader Raila Odinga urged supporters to come out in numbers and hold a peaceful protest in forms of solidarity parades and vigil for victims. According to the opposition side, more than 50 people were killed by police during the three-day protest against the high cost of living. The protest, outlawed by the government, were held on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And on to our next news. Former President Kenyatta has said President Ruto has not reached out to him since taking over the State House, saying he will be willing to engage him only if the president reaches out. During a meeting with news editors on Monday, Kenyatta advised his successor to serve the country well because he will not be in the country's top office forever, saying power is temporary. The former president added he is no longer in active politics and should not be associated with demonstrations planned by the opposition, challenging those linking him with the protest to table any evidence. He further set the record straight, saying his two sons have 3 guns, each which they were forced to apply for after their security was withdrawn by the government. His sentiments came 3 days after police raided Kenyatta's son Jomo's house in Karen, Nairobi, to conduct a search for firearms. And away from that, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called for a review of the global funding system in favor of Africa. Addressing the UN Food System Summit in Rome on Monday, Mr. Gachagua said, as currently structured, the international funding model is not inclusive enough, and particularly in the agriculture sector. The second-in-command added, with a better financing and inclusive system, African countries will cope better.
We have embraced financial inclusivity by creating a 10 billion shillings fund for the Hustler Nation. The Hustler Nation are the ordinary people who are the majority in terms of food production. Therefore, there has been a great challenge in accessing affordable credit to enable farmers to buy inputs and to buy the right fertilizers. As a result of that financial inclusivity to the people at the bottom of the pyramid, many farmers are able now to produce food and produce the right yields.
And on to our other news, former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga has been released on 100,000 Kenya shillings cash bail and an alternative 200,000 bond after denying being in possession of offensive weapons. According to a charge sheet, Maina is alleged to be in a possession of 14 machetes, 24 Maasai swords, 46 rungus, and 3 plows. Njenga was arrested on Wednesday last week alongside his 2 brothers and his personal assistant Ole Lekishe. The DCI Serious Crime Unit alleges that they have reasonable presumption that the said offensive weapons were intended to be used in a manner prejudicial to public order.
Muda ambao kwamba mtu anaweza kushikwa kiholela, huo muda umepita. Sasa mtu awe amekosa. Na siongei kama mshtakiwa, naongea kama Mkenya. Haki ya watu kukungamana. Katiba iko juu kushinda mtu yoyote hapa Kenya. Na iwapo pengine kuna watu wengine wanafikiri wanaweza kuogopya, wataombewa pole sana. Kwa sababu sisi hatutafuti haki yetu, tunatafuta haki ya Wakenya wengi ambao hawawezi kusimama imara kutetea haki yao. This was actually an attempt to silence people. I'm not going to go into politics about it, but then it is quite obvious that when a state has gone wrong, it has gone wrong. Zile fedha za wananchi zilizotumiwa kuwashika, kuwahangaisha, kuwalisha, kuwalinda na kumaru zaidi ya 10 kwangu kama wakili, naona kwamba tunapoteza.
And on to our next news. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has announced that the government will reconstruct all schools that were damaged by bandits in North Rift. Speaking on Monday at Kapindasum Primary School, Baringo North constituency in Baringo County, the CS affirmed learning has resumed in schools whose infrastructure were damaged and vandalized. Kindiki confirmed that the construction will be done jointly through the Kenya Defence Forces and the National Youth Service.
Kama vile Mheshimiwa Rais ameahidi, shule ya sehemu hii
family members responsible for gouging out her eyes have been sentenced to serve years imprisonment. Appearing before the court magistrate, Christine Ogweno, the court arrived at the verdict, convincing each of the three accused persons for the grievous harm charges. Alex Ochogo, the cousin, sentenced to serve 40 years imprisonment. Rasifika Nyakerario, who is the aunt, sentenced to serve 10 years imprisonment, and Rael Nyakerario, the grandmother, sentenced to serve 5 years imprisonment. The three family members were arrested and charged on the particulars that on the 13th and 14th December 2022, they unlawfully and willingly gouged out baby Sagini's eyes, causing grievous harm to the victim, contrary to Section 234 of the Penal Code, which attracts a life sentence.
The discourse above, I arrive at the following decision to be an appropriate sentence in the circumstances. I'll start with the third accused person, Rael Nyakerario Mayeka. He sentenced to serve 5 years imprisonment. For the second accused person, Pacifica Nyakerario Ochogo, sentenced to serve 10 years imprisonment. However, for the first accused person, who was a mason behind the offense here, he sentenced to serve 40 years imprisonment. The rest of appealed proceedings.
On to our other news. Curriculum developers, implementers, and other education stakeholders under the African Curriculum Association have been challenged to come up with the courses that will ensure Africa catches up with the developed world academically. According to Higher Education Principal Secretary Dr. Beatrice Inyagala, Kenya has already begun education reforms with implementation of the competency-based curriculum.
We shall be in position to craft ways of improving our curricula to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote long life learning opportunities for all for the benefit of the children of Africa. There are ways to ensure inclusive and equitable education and lifelong learning opportunities for all.
We have a curriculum where learners get knowledge, skills, and values to address the problems that confront them at various stages. And we are not giving them knowledge, values, and skills that they will use 20 years to come, but they can use today.
And on to our last news. Infotrack Research Manager Jovin Wanyigo has said 87% of Kenyans are aware of the content of the Finance Act 2023. According to Infotrack, 2,400 Kenyans aged over 18 from all 47 counties were interviewed for the survey conducted 3rd to 8th July this year. The marketing and research firm outlined key issues of concern raised by Kenyans are the high cost of living, high levels of unemployment, quality of education, and cost of doing business.
Whether Kenyans are aware
of the Finance Act of 2023, we can report 87% are aware, but 13% are not aware of this Finance Act. Region-wise, where is it higher in terms of awareness? Nairobi and Nyanza had under Coast Rift Valley. Each region recorded 89% awareness of the Finance Act, but the least was Western at 84%. We went to the key issues of concern. What concerns the citizen as of the date of Thursday, 8th of July? The three most highly mentioned reasons were the high cost of living, followed by unemployment, and the third one was quality of education at 20%. And we wanted to find out their opinion on the cost of living. And 61% mentioned that it is very high, 61%. Then at 26% mentioned it is high, 9% mentioned it is average, 2% mentioned it is low, and another 2% mentioned it is very low.
And now we are back for sports news. Let's focus on what's happening on sports. Football, Kenya Union.
Money service imefika. Vuma ni wallet yako ya kurahisisha. Download Vuma app just like that. Ama join ukidial star 844 #8. Kutop up ni Visa au Mastercard. Pesa Vuma tu Vuma ni free kutuma. Yo yo. Ni free kutuma. Kufanya transfer to any bank ni kuvuma. Vuma, Vuma, Vuma.
To join, dial star 844 # and download the Vuma app now. Load cash to your wallet through Vuma agents or your bank, or go to your nearest KCB bank branch, ATM, or agent. Let your money flow with Vuma.
Nairobi is watching Science TV.
Sports news. Let's see what's focus on sports news. Football Kenya Federation and the Machakos County government on Monday signed a deal that will see the entities work together to set up the National Football Technical Center in Machakos County. The center will comprise of 3 international standard football pitches, offices and accommodation facilities. According to FKF President Nith Mwendwa, the 4.5 million Kenya shillings facility is meant for training coaches, referees and young footballers. Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti said her administration had leased out 20 acres of land to FIFA for the project, adding the facility will boost the country's agenda of identifying, nurturing and developing sports talent.
why we chose Machakos. Machakos is not far from the airport. The infrastructure. Why we chose Machakos. Machakos is not far from the airport. The infrastructure now is super fantastic. To be partners today to be here from Nairobi. The willingness. Najua unaweza kupiga simu sema nataka jamba lakini kaamua kuja next year. We didn't have next year. We had now.
This project will benefit our county in various ways, including youth football development. Youth will get a chance to showcase their talents, capacity building, high quality training will be offered for upcoming coaches and referees, among other football officials. And if you know, the three best in Kenya are from Machakos.
That is all we had for today's news. Thank you so much for staying with us, viewers. You have been with me, Ruth Wairimu, and my interpreter voicing is Laura